going on? It is Wednesday, October 12th, the day before Thursday Night Football. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the New England Patriots. We have a fan question from my guy, Shannon Merritt, who wants to talk about his New England Patriots, wants to talk about Tom Brady. And quite frankly, I don't know what you want me to tell you, how great he is, like how special he is. Don't worry, we're going to talk about it, though. I'm just saying, Tom means Tom Brady. But we'll talk about it. And then we're going to get into the Oakland Raiders. Oakland Raiders 4-1, leading their division due to their divisional record, tied with the Denver Broncos. We're going to talk about that and how they can continue that, what they need to do to continue that. But first, we're going to talk about some things around
the NFL.
And this list around the NFL is hot, ladies and gentlemen. And the injury list is long. And you want to pay attention, especially if you're playing fantasy football this weekend. And we will start with the New York Jets and Eric Decker. He is on IR, done. Surgery on the shoulder. He's likely done for the year. He's done for the year. That's very unfortunate for them. They're losing a weapon on the outside to go along with Brandon Marshall. Not a good look. Cam Newton still under the concussion protocol. Going to have to keep your eyes peeled for that one. See whether he's going to be able to play this Sunday. Carson Palmer, full practice. Jamal Charles. This is one that everybody who drafted this guy in hopes that he will be ready in a few, maybe for week 5, week 6. He's not on the injury report, ladies and gentlemen. Not on the injury report. He's going to have an opportunity to play this weekend. So let's see. Keep your eyes peeled. See what Andy Reid's going to do, how many snaps he's going to get. But he might be able to get you some points. And we're hoping that he's going to be what he was last year before the injury. We also have A.J. Green, knee. Tyler Eifert still battling his injury. Steve Smith Jr. or Sr. Steve Smith Sr. He's dealing with that ankle. T.Y. Hilton, hip. Julio Jones, knee. And Eddie Lacy was limited practice today as well. So keep your eyes on the injury report and keep tuned to that because Thursday night is tomorrow. And we want to make sure you set those lineups if you have anybody playing tomorrow or the weekend so that you can have an opportunity to win your fantasy game. Now we're going to talk about the New England Patriots. And no one could have written this script. I mean, you couldn't have set this up any better if you were a Patriots fan, especially with all the talk of the Miami Dolphins stepping up, being a better team, the New York Jets being a better team, a team that I said I liked to win this division. You look at the Miami Dolphins as well, the Buffalo as well, and we thought that this division would be a little bit stronger, and yet it is not. And guess what? The New England Patriots are 4-1 under the likes of Jimmy Garoppolo and a guy whose last name looks like brisket. Really? And we're not talking like this that Belichick is not the greatest coach ever. Greatest coach ever. I mean, it's just unbelievable with the guys that he's had to be able to be in this position with Tom coming back. Now, with Tom coming back last week, he has the nerve to say in his post-game press conference that he was a little rusty. Well, Tom, I didn't know that 70% passing completions was a little rusty. For 406 was a little rusty. For 3 touchdowns was a little rusty. And for the rest of the league and the rest of the people on their schedule, this is scary. We know what this team does every time they are involved in a scandal. And I know a lot of people are tired of hearing about the Patriots being involved in some kind of scandal, and I think Deflategate was absolute garbage. But every team cheats. They just cheat a little harder than everyone else. And, when your owner's a little bit buddy with uh, the commish, maybe thought he could get away with a little bit more. But either way, when you look at this schedule that they have to play in the next, I think it's 4 weeks, next 3 weeks before their bye, Cincinnati Bengals this upcoming weekend, we saw what the Cowboys did to them. Not good for Cincinnati. If I'm Marvin Lewis, I call the league and tell them that my whole entire locker room has come down with a bad case of explosive diarrhea or something. I don't know. You're going to get embarrassed. If you got embarrassed by the Cowboys, and that's no slight against the Cowboys, but you got embarrassed by the Cowboys, can you only imagine what Tom and Bill are going to do to this team? In Foxborough? Not a good look. The only team that has a fighting chance right on this list is the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Tomlin's going to have that team ready. I'm questionable about their secondary and their defensive secondary there. I'm a little bit on the question on that, but that team will be ready, will be prepared. It will be in Pittsburgh. It'll be a tough fight. Buffalo, on the other hand, you talk about a revenge game. I know that Bill probably didn't really give a crap that he lost, just more so that he had to hear Rex talking. But now that he's got his quarterback back, boy, they're going to put a whooping on them in Buffalo before the bye week. I don't see them losing another game, to be honest with you. Like I said, the Steelers game's going to be close. I just don't see him losing another game. But Tom's going to have one heck of a season if this is how he's starting out. Now, he's got Bennett on the outside with Gronk, and they had a guy named Chris Hogan. I mean, this guy does more with less than we've ever seen. I think his biggest receiver was Randy Moss late in his career. But they do more with less. And both Gronk and Hogan were over 100 yards receiving in last week's game. And their defense is coming along. Look, there's no doubt this team's making the playoffs. But I think we all know that Tom's out to prove something, and he will. And he will be right back in the big game again. Barring anything catastrophic with that defense, they're going right back to the Super Bowl. Right back to the Super Bowl. It's absolutely unbelievable. The history we have the privilege to be able to watch this season. So enjoy it, Patriots fans. Enjoy it. Well, now we're going to look at the Oakland Raiders. And a very fun team to watch, ladies and gentlemen. Very fun team to watch. If you haven't caught yourself any of these games, especially the one with the New Orleans Saints where Jack Del Rio decides to go for two and to win the game instead of kick the field goal. Exciting, and they won. They're 4-1. But there's a huge problem here, and you can see this article that I wrote about their defense on sportsjourney.com. That's where you can find all my work, and wrote this article about the defense there. They've got to do better. I mean, they have allowed 28 plus points in their 4 wins. And for any defense, any team, it is very important. It's imperative to have all 3 phases of the game working. Against the San Diego Chargers alone, they gave up 431 total yards. That's unacceptable. You can't spend your time outscoring guys and expecting to go in your offense to do absolutely all the work. And what's so strange about this is that they have the defensive talent to get the job done. And they've shown that they have the ability to make stops. They've done it. but they can't do it on a consistent basis. And that's what this team needs is consistency from the defense to get guys off 3 and outs and not allowing teams to rack up 28 plus points and over 400 yards of offense. I mean, they're averaging league averages 452.6 yards per game. That's dead last, ladies and gentlemen, dead last in the league. Unacceptable. You cannot win ball games giving up almost 500 yards. They shouldn't even be winning ball games. But that tells you how great and that this offense for the Raiders is the real deal, led by Derek Carr. He's shown that he can lead this offense to victory even when the chips are down. And they've been down a lot. They've had to come back to win games a lot. But you have to have offense, defense, special teams if you want to be able to secure a playoff spot late in the season. And that's what they're going to need to take the next step. They need to be a consistent defense. And even Bruce Irving, he said that in his interview, post-game interview. He was like, the biggest thing is this in this league is being consistent. And we can't have, we're good a couple of plays and then we're back to giving up explosive plays. And unless we fix that, and that's everybody, including himself, we're going to continue to be inconsistent on defense with a lot of talent. And that's very true. They've been very inconsistent with a lot of talent, and they have the ability to do so much more. So much more. And this division is wide open. I mean, this division is wide open. You look at the quarterback situation with Trevor Siemian in and out, and he's played well when he has been in. But offensively, they can keep up with Denver. Defensively, I mean, both of these defenses have the ability to be, I think, equally as great. When you're looking at it on paper, both of these defenses have the ability to be equal. And then the Chiefs bringing up in third, and the Chargers bringing up the rear, and they may very well be 1-5 after Thursday night, because we know home teams haven't been that great on Thursday night in these Thursday night games. So they have a great opportunity to win this division, but it only can be done when you have all three phases clicking. And don't get so wrapped up in this with it being only 5 games in. They have plenty of time to right this ship. But as the schedule gets tougher, when you look at they're going to be facing Kansas City this weekend. Then you're going to be facing a Jacksonville team that's very talented. Tampa Bay, a team that's gritty and talented on the offensive side of the ball. Then you're going to have to face Denver. Houston's questionable. They're hot and cold. Then you have the Carolina Panthers, Buffalo. There's going to be some tough games that they're going to have to face. Fortunately for them, there's a lot of these games that are going to be at home, but you have to bring all three phases against quality football teams, playoff caliber football teams, if you want to be considered among the ones in the playoffs. So we'll see. But I like what the Raiders are doing, and Raiders fans should be very excited about being 4-1 so far this season. We thank you so much for listening to another edition of Straight Shooting Sports Talk. If you want to get at us and shoot us a question that you'd like to have answered here, you can get at us by email, straightshootingst@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Twitter as well, notbland21. And that's all, folks. You guys have a good night.
Yes! Crab cakes and football! Nice. That's what...